Yo, what's going on, everybody? Welcome. It is, unfortunately, it's Monday, but by God, we're, lighting the fires and kicking the tires, Big Daddy. Welcome to Tusk Talk with Ty. I am, of course, the host and creator of this show and, some others, Ty Hudson. Appreciate everyone for stopping by. Make sure you, like, share, and hit the subscribe button if you haven't already. Feel free to take the poll. We got a poll up. We've also got a live chat goal. If we listen, the number's 10 because they make you set a number of 10. I think we could get to get some super chats and we'll read them in different voices. How about that? I'll read them in different voices. Have a little fun. I've got a mean Cleveland Brown. It's silly. It wasn't my idea. Thanks to Michael Kerper in Discord. This was his idea. I'm putting it all on him. I'm putting it all on Michael Kerper. So, Kerper. Michael Kerper. Not Kirker. Michael Kerper. Shout out to Patreon supporters. Month of January was special. Let's keep it going. February's looking pretty good. So, yeah. We'll do that. We'll links provided for you down below. And join. We've already had some news break today on football. It's nothing big. They just kind of added some people. A really good question was asked in Patreon. Where's the general manager for the Razorbacks? That was a really good question. I didn't have that in my notes today, but I did share in Discord as soon as I got the notification, as soon as I got the email from the SID from Razorback Football, from the front office of the football program. I went ahead and just copy and pasted it over to Patreon, so you guys can go read that. But yeah, no GM. And I don't think that's surprising to anybody. No one... It sounds to me like they're not interested in doing that. Maybe they'll change their tune. Maybe we'll get something different from Sam, from Coach Pittman. We do expect to hear from them soon about fall or spring camp. So, yeah. All right. We need more super chats for Ty to read in voices. Yeah, maybe we'll get a few. We don't need 10. They make you pick a certain amount. I should have just picked like 5. And we'll just say at 5, we'll read them. Unfortunately, I can't change it. But we got one. There's one super chat. Oh, Lord, what'd I just do? Almost sent myself a super chat. All right, and the poll is Hogs will finish the final 4 games. The options, unfortunately, I couldn't do – well, I say unfortunately. I don't know how many people would pick 0 for 4, but I was unable to pick 0 for 4, add that as an option. The Hogs will finish the final 4 games 4-0 or 3-1, 2-2, or 1-3. And again, they only give you 4 options. I don't know. Does anyone think Arkansas will go 0-4? Let me know in the live chat. All right, I tell you what, whatever you pick, tell me what games they win because we are going to talk about that. We're going to talk about how many games I think Arkansas, what's going to happen. And we're also going to talk about good Lord. You know what? The louder your engine is and your piece of shit rice burn. I'm sorry. I don't know why people feel that, why do you do that? Why you rev your engine? These houses are so damn close to the street, and you feel the need to rev your stupid-ass engine right in front of my house. You're a dumbass. God. No common decency anymore. I swear to God. It's not a small neighborhood, but these houses are close together. We're close to the street, and you got to drive a car, and you got to rev the stupid-ass engine right in front of everyone. Get the hell out of here, dude. Probably compensating for something. Anyways, where was I? Forgot where the hell I was. Yeah, we're going to talk about what Arkansas does in these final 4 games. We're going to get started off with baseball, though, really fast. Arkansas, according to D1 Baseball, is still at 4th place. They didn't move. So for everyone that was panicking, calling the Kansas State loss like this embarrassing loss because of their previous record, I don't know why we have to have this this silly conversation every year. This time of year, we have to have this conversation. Who cares what the records are? Now, if you're 0-10 in your first 10 games in Houston, we might have a problem. But losing a couple of games, Kansas State had lost some games. I don't know who they lost to. But you're that's tunnel vision. I don't care what their record was coming into this tournament down in Texas. I don't care. This is a different lineup, right? They're going to change their pitching up a little. It's really more about experimentation. Like, I thought Dave Van Horn, I didn't get to catch all 3 games. I saw the second, the TCU. I saw the last 2 games, most of them. And I felt like Dave Van Horn kind of let a couple of guys stay out on the mound a little longer than he normally would. So Gage Wood had to leave the mound a little early. He started off on fire. He had 6 strikeouts in the first 2 innings, and it wasn't elbow soreness, it was shoulder soreness. So I don't know. We'll have to wait and see what Dave. I don't know. Has Dave said anything about that injury? Because I don't know. I don't think it's anything severe, but I don't think we'll know anything unless Dave came out and said something. I don't know that he has. I was very impressed with the pitching over the weekend. Very impressed. Arkansas is off to a pretty good start, okay? They're off to a pretty good start. Right now, Arkansas baseball is second in the country in double plays with 11. Second in the country. Now, I think it's a 2-way tie. It's not like 20 teams. You know, you'll look at some stats and there's 15, 20 teams tied. No, I think it's just like Arkansas and maybe 1 or 2 other teams. But second in the country in double plays. Will that come down? Probably. Of course it will once you get in SEC play. Hogs ERA currently 16th in the country with a 2.10 ERA. Fielding percentage took a bit of a dip. They're now down into the 80s in rank. I think coming into the tournament they were, I don't actually know. I don't know what they were. I thought I had some notes on what some of their other numbers were going into the tournament. Batting average, this is where a lot of you are going to, I already know. Some of you don't seem to like the hitting coach. I don't know why. I think he's goated. I think Nate is goated, okay? Batting average is currently 269, which is 135th in the country. Now, like I said, it's too early to get too excited about the 2.10 ERA, and it's also the same thing to be said about the poor hitting. Does it feel like more of the same? A little. Boy, the Aloy brothers came through on the weekend. The older one got SEC Player of the Week. Yeah, batting average is currently sitting at 269. That's, considering you just played a 4-game series against Washington State, I don't think Michigan is going to be any good this year. Maybe I'm wrong. I don't know. But Arkansas is struggling. Listen, 269 batting average in college ball, it ain't much. All right? Obviously, it's 135th in the country. It ain't much. Now, to be fair, there's a bunch of teams. It's like college basketball. There's I don't know how many teams, 300 teams. So you're kind of, you're actually kind of right in the middle or close to it. Arkansas's on-base percentage isn't as bad. It's 87th with a 405 average. On-base is also very important. I find it hilarious when people act like batting average ain't shit. What are you talking about? Batting average ain't shit. When you buy baseball cards, guess what stats they're noting on the back of the card? Yeah, batting average is still there, son. I hate it when people tell me the batting average doesn't mean anything. The hell it doesn't. The hell it doesn't. Swallowed spit right as I'm saying that. So their on-base percentage isn't bad. Batting average has got to come up. We know they finished bottom 5, I think, in both categories last year. or at least for sure. I know it was pretty bad last year, the batting average. I get the criticism. I always say, like, let's hold off. There is a Scott Fountain approach to this, in that Fountain, great recruiter. It's the same thing here with Nate, right? He's a great recruiter. It's just whatever they're doing, and we don't know how much of it's Dave Van Horn. I've had someone tell me that actually the approach at the plate, while it's been changed, that it may not all be coming from the hitting coach. So I don't know, and that's someone who follows the baseball program pretty closely. I wouldn't freak out just yet about baseball, about the hitting. I wouldn't freak out too much. All right, we got more super chats. Hold on. Remember, I'm going to come back and read them. Patrick Wendell with a $10 super chat. Nothing for me to read. That's your third ever super chat, Patrick? I would have thought you had more. Appreciate the super chats. There's nothing for me to read there, though. Let's read some chats here. What's up, Camo? Kerper. Camo says they're going 4-0. Mike and them says, Hogs make the tourney, win in round 1, but with our luck, we'll probably catch Duke in the second round. Well, yeah. Maybe. It depends on seeding. Good weekend to be a Hog. Yeah, Arkansas went 3-1 on the weekend. That's a great weekend, man. Toughest game will be at Vandy. Says on. I don't know, something Razorbacks on tar. I don't know. I'm sorry. I think you might be new here. Feel free to hit the subscribe button. But you're right. I agree. Toughest game, I think, is going to be at Vandy or at South Carolina. They may not be good, okay? They may not have the wins and losses, but they've been pretty good at home. They've been tough to beat at home. You can't handle the truth. Says 2-2 with Texas and South Carolina, losses to Vandy and Mississippi State. All right. Yeah. Again, if you pick, whatever you pick, Hogs will finish the final 4 games, 4-0, 3-1, 2-2, or 1-3. Maybe you think they don't win a single game. Maybe you think their luck has run out. Maybe Big Z starting to cool off a little bit. Wasn't that long ago he went 0 against Auburn. But, I mean, come on, he just had 20 points. But maybe he cools off, right? Make super chats. Appreciate you, Kerper. All right. I guess I got to start reading these in a voice here in a minute, don't I? I got to use a voice here in a second. It's a good thing you can now go back and look at all the super chats. That's a good thing. Shout out to Direct Service Overhead, the garage door company. Same-day services, quality parts, affordable outcomes. Hundreds of 5-star reviews. In fact, they're closing in on 1,000 5-star reviews. 501-244-3667. Travis Ford and Tim Neal, neither one could we normally do. They're on here with me. They were both, their schedules kind of didn't allow them to be here. But, again, shout out to Travis Ford. That's his company, Direct Service Overhead. Free estimates, man. Just give them a call. Link is provided for you down below. 501-244-3667. All right. Well, baseball off to listen, you're a one-loss team right now. 6-1. You've got Grambling tomorrow, right? That's tomorrow at 3 o'clock. Did I see that? Did I put that in right? Let me check that time. I think that's right. 3 o'clock. Yeah, February 25th, 3 p.m. against Grambling. So we do have a prediction up. I think we only need one more pick, and we're at double XP. Just like that. I knew I should have made that more. I knew I should have added more. Oh, man. All right. We need more super. I can't do it. I can't do it. SpongeBob. We need more super. I don't know why I'm having a hard time. I gotta do the voice. This is why I'm not a voice actor. See, I couldn't read the lines. I'm just good at just saying stuff off the top of my head. We need more super chats for Ty to read in voices. There's that. See, I did one. I did one super chat in a voice. I wish I could pop these up on the screen. SpongeBob. Join the Discord. That's right. Go do that. You can't handle the truth. Says batting average is crucial. Thank you. Big Donnelly says batting average tells all. I don't know why. We had this argument with people, or I did, with 2 or 3 people about batting averages and what they mean, and like the fact that I had someone tell me they're like close to being meaningless now. I don't know. It may mean less compared to on-base percentage. But really bad hitting teams rarely make Omaha, John. I'll just say that. Like, in fact, look at who won it all last year. Pretty good batting average. Plenty of homers, doubles, getting guys in scoring position, and then, moving bases and bringing them home. All that stuff matters. It's such an analytical sport. Yeah, on-base percentage, I would say, does matter more. Getting on base matters more, and that was something that Arkansas was not very good at last year. But to diminish batting average is just silly to me. John shares the Discord link. Join these. I'm trying to do Cleveland Brown from the Cleveland Show. I'm trying to do it. My name is Cleveland Brown, and I'm proud to be right back in my hometown. See that? That's the Cleveland Show. So now I got to read the comment. Join these, or I'll wish your toilet paper never comes clean. Ha ha ha. Oh my God. Why did I agree to do that? MLB player make 9 figures getting hits 35-38% of the time. Ontario. I thought it was Ontario bet, but I the more I was reading it, it was like that. It's like Ontar. I don't know. See, I'm already trying to do these damn voices. I'm not going to try and sound these names out. All right, Kerper, I'll do Kermit the Frog really quick because it's very similar to the Cleveland Brown. Cleveland Brown is more up here, and then Kermit's like, We got a great show for you tonight. Yeah! Remember the Muppet Show? I'm calling to talk to you about your car's extended warranty. There we go. Mike, Eagle says 3-1. And then he says 6.5 out of 10. I guess you're grading my voices. I don't know. Eric Musselman's Ghost. 3-1, 10 seed in my opinion. We are playing our best ball right now. I couldn't agree more, man. I think they really are. Since Kentucky? Yeah, for sure. Kentucky, woke Arkansas up, and it was pretty great. What are the Final Four games? What are the predictions for the Final Four games from ESPN? The matchup predictor, which was once known as the Basketball Power Index, the BPI. What do they say? Arkansas and Texas. They like Arkansas at 55.8%. So they're giving Texas a 44% chance of winning that game. They like Arkansas at 55%. That's pretty good. I guess if you're Texas, you love that. I'm not going to lie to you. I thought it would be higher. I thought Arkansas would be favored at 65. But it is Texas. They've been hot and cold all year. They haven't exactly thrived in SEC play. Arkansas's already beaten them once. That was kind of my thinking. All right, well, you've got to give Arkansas, that's got to be at least 60, 65%. 55 is not bad. I mean, obviously, you're favored to they're giving you the nod. So, I don't know. Do you guys agree with that? I guess would be the question. I don't have a problem with it. I mean, anytime you're favored over Texas, I get all giddy. The one that surprised me, so right there, they like you in your next game of your 4-game run. They like Arkansas over Texas. That's not a surprise. How about Arkansas on the road to South Carolina? Now, South Carolina is an interesting animal because they're 1-13 in conference play. They just got their first conference win over Texas, but it was at home. They've got to play at Missouri before they play Arkansas. What do they say about this game? They actually favor Arkansas. Now, should you be surprised at that? No. Again, South Carolina, their record is bad. But they are the perfect example, just like Arkansas is, of you are not what your record says that you are. I think in baseball and basketball, that statement is the most truthful thing you could say. I'm not saying it doesn't apply to football. I think it's not as true, I guess, if we're allowed to say that or do that. I think basketball and football basketball and baseball, because you play so many games instead of just 12 games, and you kind of have a pretty good idea of who you are. Usually 6 games into the year, you know really what you are. Then it's just about staying healthy. I don't know, just coaches and players being on the same page, guys executing on the field. It's similar in both the other two sports as well, or any sport for that matter. Everyone's got to be on the same page. But South Carolina and Arkansas are not what their records say that they are. And that's why so many outsiders, I've seen them on Twitter, and even some of the Hog fans who don't pay any damn attention, they don't know how net rankings work. They're not listening to what Joe Lunardi and Palm, they're not listening to what these guys are saying. They just see the record and they assume that's just who they are because they're numbnuts and they don't pay any attention. They don't watch this show. I've been saying it all along. They're going to be fine, but they've got to win some games. Missouri was certainly where it started. Well, I mean, Kentucky's where it started, but, talking about turning the page and getting on with your Final Five, you had to beat Missouri. Because then if you don't, you've got all this pressure. You already had pressure with the Mizzou game. You got a little less pressure now with these Final Four, but it would have been a hell of a lot more pressure if you didn't beat Missouri. So, yeah, South Carolina and Arkansas are not what their record says that they are. They like Arkansas 55%, as I said a moment ago. They still give South Carolina a 44% chance. It's because and I think this is where the predictor kind of gets it right. Again, matchup predictor is not telling you we know for a fact Arkansas is going to win this game. Again, it's just deeper kind of analytical, something about simming the game, all this different stuff. Like, it's just pulling things. Like, people get mad. John Haas, you're one of them. You get so mad about the matchup predictor. It's not telling you that for sure Arkansas is going to win this game. Again, it's just a percentage of the likelihood that they'll win the game. And I think that's probably pretty fair. I think it's probably I would probably say 50-50, damn near, with Arkansas getting the edge. So like 50 point whatever, 5%, 50.5 or whatever. Arkansas getting the nod. That's a tough one. So right there, you're 2-0 with the matchup predictor. What about Vanderbilt? Well, they like Vanderbilt. And okay, 56.5% is what they're giving Vandy. So you're 2-1. Vandy's going to be tough. In fact, Vanderbilt, South Carolina's going to be tough. Vanderbilt's going to be, I think, harder because they actually have talent on the floor. Mississippi State, well, they're ranked. That's a quad one. Surely they're going to give, Mississippi State some love. They do. They give Arkansas the nod, though. 54, almost 55%. 54.8% is what they're giving Arkansas. So, 45.2% chance for Mississippi State. That's 3-1. That's 3-1 of the Final Four. Let me try that again. 3-1 in the Final Four. That's what the matchup predictor is saying on ESPN. And I think that's fair. I think that's fair. I think that's more than fair. I was a little surprised they had Arkansas favored against South Carolina on the road. I kind of thought, or I shouldn't say that. I'm surprised it's not just like 50-50, but hell, 55-44 is pretty damn close. Oh, I got more super chats to read, don't I? Oh, my goodness. I'm starting to blow my voice out. Heartbroken Hog. Heartbroken Hog says, let's go. No, wait, should I do Mr. Krabs? Should I do Mr. Krabs' voice? Let's go. You guys act like it's pick it up. Hold on. You guys act like it's ... Pick it up a little bit, okay? Get your chin up, SpongeBob. Smile. Oh, you're doing I see what you're doing. Okay. Smile, okay? If I'm not talking, Squidward. My Mr. Krabs is not as good as it used to be. When my kids were little, I nailed Mr. Krabs. I'm starting to lose my voice. Can Calipari afford to rest any guys down the stretch? I'm almost starting to get into Yoda territory, isn't it? Let me read this in a regular voice, and then we'll go back. Can Calipari afford to rest any guys down the stretch for the SEC tourney? Bracketology says we're out if we go 2-2. There ain't no way it's got us out at 2-2. Wait. What do you mean, like, there's no way they're out at 2-2. No, you're in at 2-2. I disagree. I don't know. I disagree with that. They're in at 2-2. Ty, I remember all these folks thought our season was over, LOL. Cal still got the juice. Listen, I was one of them. I mean, I'm not going to hide it, Mello. I was one of them, man. I said when they went 0-5, there's just no way. How many teams turned the corner? How many teams have made the NCAA tournament starting out 0-5 in conference play? And you already had a couple losses in non-con, even though your net ranking, is still pretty good. Well, I disagree with Curtis Wilkerson. I think they're in at 2-2. The word around town for a while has been, and it also depends on who the two are. It depends on who those two losses are. But I would disagree. If you beat Vanderbilt and Mississippi State, you don't think they're in? Like, what? Those are two quad one games. I was admittedly growing very concerned that Cal was washed. I don't know who wasn't. I don't know. John Haas says they're in at 2-2. 7 SEC wins plus Cal's name. Now, they say they're not going on Cal's name. I don't know. I don't know if that gives you an edge or not. The committee gonna take that into account, plus what they had to get through to get there. I wasn't aware that I hadn't heard anybody say that Arkansas was out if they only go 2-2. I think you're in. Now your seeding's going to suck. I'll say that. Yeah, I mean, everybody, when Arkansas was 0-5, there wasn't a soul that thought Arkansas was going to turn this thing around, and they have. They've done a really good job. You got to give them credit. It's crazy that, and again, this goes back to the question we had a couple of weeks ago. I think it was Tim Neal that asked this. What would have happened if Arkansas hadn't had Boogie not gone down with the injury? I think Cal would have eventually made that necessary change. I think he would have ran Wagner more at the point, but then the question still remains: how would Boogie adjust into that system at that time, and would he being moved to more of a combo role? I don't know. Yeah, if Arkansas beats – if they beat Vanderbilt and Mississippi State, bro, that's two more quad ones. And these other two games won't hurt you that much. According to Lenardi, losing at South Carolina won't actually hurt you that much. Texas won't. It's a little surprising considering they were South Carolina's first victim. But, yeah, there's no way you're out if you get those two quad ones. Now, we might have a different conversation if it's South Carolina and in Texas. Maybe I could see. Even then, I don't know how you leave Arkansas out based on the net. I just don't. Taiwan Porter says we just had to get more Jonas Adu and TB Brazil to get his head out of his ass. Well, I mean, they're still struggling there, though, right? Hey, make sure you guys like, share, and subscribe. Hit the like button. Share. Sharing is caring. So, yeah, again, the matchup predictor has Arkansas going 3-1. Do I agree? Do you guys agree with the matchup predictor at 3-1? I mean, obviously you've already, you've done your vote, right? If you're in chat and you haven't looked, take that poll. We've got it up. I think Arkansas, let's just say this. I really like these matchups for Arkansas in these last 4 games. I'll tell you what has a seat at the table. I don't think 0-4 has a seat at the table. I really don't. I don't see this team, after figuring it out against Missouri, playing in there, hanging in there the way they did against Alabama, the way they came back and made that a game. The second half adjustments this season have been great. I have some hang-ups with this team. They are very reliant on a couple of guys turning it on, and when they don't, this team struggles. And then they have to rely heavily on their defense. And at times, we saw what their perimeter defense did in the last game. They shit their pants, especially in the first half, giving up what was it, eight threes. I like Arkansas to go 3-1. After the Mizzou game, I initially thought 2-2. And that's a tough position. That's a tough spot to be in. I think you're in. And at 2-2, I just hadn't figured out who those two would be, the wins and the losses, or what the 4. And the more, you watch, you read, you listen, I think Arkansas's 3-1 bound. And I think that gets them most likely the 11th seed. Listen, the SEC tournament, I don't know. I guess it does matter. Again, Lenardi kind of hinted at that. We played that his interview that he had with Whole Hog Sports with Matt Jones last week, and he mentioned it. You guys that were here, that were listening, you heard him mention the SEC tournament as though it has some kind of meaning on the selection committee. And maybe that has to do with the fact, if you think about it, the SEC is absolutely loaded. You've got so many high net ranking teams in this conference, so many quad 1 games throughout the regular season. Maybe that's why he's saying that the tournament matters. Maybe that's where that's coming from. That could change a lot if that is the case for me in the way I'm thinking about where Arkansas ends up in their seeding. All right, so I've got them at 3-1. Ty, why? Why do you like them at 3-1? I think for starters, different point guard, different game. Not only has Wagner, since going back 7 games, going back to Kentucky, not only is he averaging 6 assists to 2 turnovers, he's +4 in the assist to turnover ratio. The offense just, you see it. It flows better through him than it ever did through Boogie Flan. They're scoring more points. Now, it's kind of difficult to gauge that because Boogie Flan, what games did they play where, who did they play? Who was that competition against? And you look at who Wagner's had to deal with since he's been the guy at the point guard position. But going back to just Kentucky, Wagner has averaged, it's 6-2 on the assist to turnover ratio with a couple of really high assist games. Not only that, the guy he's shown that he can dribble drive. He can lead it right to the damn rim and finish. If he's going to drive, he's going to finish at the rim. We're seeing a little bit more of that, even with him at the point guard. Even if he's not distributing, calling out sets, doing whatever he's got to do, coming out of timeouts. Like he's the captain and commander, and then he's also, he is the best finisher at the rim. Adu Thero is right there with him, but Thero sometimes just gets wild. Sometimes I wonder, I kind of think he's looking for that highlight reel layup. It's just like clean. It's like, dude, just do your thing. Some of those nice little finger rolls, right off the rim there. It's beautiful when he can do it, but at times he gets a little, I don't know if it's like showboaty. I don't know what it is. The difference is like, Wagner can do it with style, and he always makes it. So I would say Wagner is the best at finishing at the rim with Thero right there. Nelly's picking it up, isn't he? Nelly's doing a better job at finishing at the rim. But they have missed so many layups, and I was so relieved to hear Cal talk about that in his postgame, about how awful they've been we've been griping about their inability to finish at the rim all the way back to like December. Because I kept saying, man, this is very reminiscent of what was going on last year, and some of Muss's good teams struggled at finishing at the rim, unless that person's name was, JD Notte. But I digress. Not very many JD Nottes out there. But they are getting better there. So that's part of the reason why I like them at 3-1. They're better at finishing at the rim, and DJ Wagner, the offense just flows better. What's the other reason? There's got to be more. It can't just be those. How about Big Z, right? This is what he's done since Kentucky. 14 points, 9 points, 27 points, 25 points, 13 points, 0 at Auburn. Let's just hope that was just Auburn doing their thing, and he was off. It wasn't a great night. And then 20 at Auburn. Big Z, he scored more points in 7 games than he did all the other games combined. To be fair, I glanced at that stat. I don't know if that's 100%, but I'm 90% positive that's right. He has been unbelievable. And it's not just that, it's also the shot blocking, and when he gets hot, that floor opens up. That's what happens when you're 7-footer. He clears the lanes. It changes the dynamic of how you guard Arkansas. And more likely, they're going to win if he's going to score 14 or more points, because that means most likely he's knocking down at least a couple of threes. His shot selection in the last game was different, and he still scored 20 points. They're also doing a better job of getting to the free throw line. They're doing better. I would love if they could get that average up to like 76, 77% at the line. You need to get to the free throw line, especially with these last 4 games. And if you're going to advance, because I fully believe they're going to, I fully believe they're going to get to the NCAA tournament. They're in. I think, again, even at 2-2, I think they're in. Again, there might be like a slight percentage where they get knocked out if they lose to 2 shitty teams or 2 not great teams, right? Which would be, on paper, I guess, South Carolina and Texas. But even then, I still think they're in. I think they sneak in. Maybe the SEC tournament bails them out. I don't know. But Big Z and the finishing at the rim, getting to the free throw line, you got to make those shots, right? We're seeing guys pass up open looks because they know it's not their shot. Knox or Wagner, you give him an inch, he's going to take a mile. John L. Davis, if he's not knocking down threes, we're seeing him finish at the rim, as we mentioned earlier. But again, going back to Big Z, and I have this noted out, it's not just his scoring, it's how he scores. The impact it has on the floor. Being a high percentage shooter outside that he is, having a 7-footer shoot threes so effectively, and we already mentioned this, right, spreads out the floor and allows guys like Wagner, Nelly, Thero, gives them open lanes right to the rim. Big Z's impact will be crucial. No more 0 for nights. You can't do that. None of this 1 for 10 shit. None of the or 1 for whatever. None of the bad shooting outside. No more offers. Stay hot. And Wagner needs to keep feeding. But also, this guy is automatic at the rim. This combination of offense can be absolutely deadly for Arkansas opponents, especially when you have, as we just mentioned too, Nelly Davis. Billy Richmond is another piece of this too, who's not given enough credit. Richmond has been fantastic. He may not show up on the score sheet often. Against Missouri, he only had 5 points. He did have 3 turnovers I'm not a fan of, but the guy ended up with 3 assists, 5 boards, 2 offensive rebounds. Fouled out, I would love to see Adu. I'd love to see Adu get 6 or 8 points a night, along with 6 or 7 boards, maybe a couple blocks, right? Have a bigger impact. Your starting 5 against Missouri all had double digits in scoring. Every one of them. Big Z with 20, Thero with 11, Knox with 14, John L. Davis with 18, DJ Wagner with 17. Carter Knox is the other guy, and we mentioned this Saturday night. One of the things that's so special about this team, or one of the changes that we've seen, is Carter Knox shooting like 5 for 7. That's really damn good. Every time that ball leaves his fingertips, I'm pretty confident he's going to make it. And he's got a mid-range shot. We obviously know he could shoot from outside. He can get to the rim and finish at the rim when he does it. He can be a pick and pop guy, and he can cut straight to the basket. He can be a backdoor cutter. He can kind of do a little bit of everything. I love the way he plays. All the younger guys. Here's the other reason why I like 3-1. The younger guys are finding their identity. We talked about this Saturday night. They're finding their identity within this team. The DNA, baby. It's coming together, and it's coming together at the right time. Now, why, if they go 2-2 or if they go 1-3, how might that happen? Well, it's not finishing out games. Let's not act like they're winning left and right now. I mean, they lost to Oklahoma, then they beat Kentucky on the road, they beat Texas on the road, and then they couldn't close out against Alabama despite having that big, the big deficit they had to combat. And they did a great job. They couldn't finish it off. They lose by 4 points. They took care of business against LSU, beating them by double digits, and then they turn around against A&M. They lose by 8 points. Against Auburn, they hung in there. You love the effort against the number 1 team in the country. They weren't juggling bulls. They still lost a close game, 67-60. They have struggled in these tight games. You can go even further back when they lost at LSU. Now, I know this is a different team. That's fair. But there's still a little bit of that in this team where they're struggling to close games out. That's my hang-up with this team. And that's why you want to be the 11 seed, okay? And I think 3-1 gets them there again. I don't know. We may have to hit the reset button with the SEC tournament in terms of where our minds are at, where this team is going. But, again, they've got to start finishing out more close games, like consistently. They need to finish out close games. And they've struggled doing that. They've won some close games. I'm not saying they haven't. I think South Carolina is going to be a close game. Texas could be a close game. I mean, they're not. You think they're happy about their being the first L to South Carolina? Hell no. Hell no. Again, if you're just hopping in here, make sure you take the poll. Hogs will finish the final 4 games. 42% of you like them to win out at 4-0. That absolutely has a seat at the table. I believe 4-0 absolutely has a seat at the table. Who's closest? Who's sitting right next to the Razorback basketball team? Is it 4-0, 3-1? Is it 2-2? Is it 1-3? Is it 0-4? I'm telling you, 0-4 doesn't have a seat at the table. I don't think that's going to happen. My name is Cleveland Brown, and I'm proud to be. Sorry. That's how I warm up. It is. That's how I warm up. The Human Torch was denied a bank loan. See, that's why you got to practice it. The Human Torch was denied a bank loan. The Human Torch was denied a bank loan. Patrick Wendell says 3-1 for me. Yeah. What'd you think about Mike Anderson, Houston Nutt, Nolan Richardson all being at the game? I loved it. Those are guys I looked up to as a kid. 100%. I loved it. Say what you want, right, about how things ended with Nolan. I still love Nolan. Like, man, you guys know, anyone who's watched me long enough, going all the way back to some of my first content, I would scream, give him a statue right outside Bud Walton Arena. That arena doesn't happen without Nolan. That gorgeous basketball arena that we all know and love sitting right off Razorback Road, that happens because of Nolan. I mean, he put Arkansas – don't get me wrong. Eddie Sutton put Arkansas basketball on the map, but Nolan took it to the freaking moon. I know some people don't like Nolan. They don't like how things ended, but I get it. I'm not saying that you're wrong. I'm not saying that you shouldn't be, but I'm of the mindset that he deserves a statue. They named a street after him, the court, give him a statue. I mean, he's won a championship, for crying out loud. Eric Musselman's Ghost says crazy. What do you mean crazy? Heartbroken Hog says 3-1 definitely gets us. Oh, yeah, for sure. You're in 3-1. Nolan was great. I agree, Angel. I'm going to find that picture. Arky56, my dad, has it somewhere. I'm sitting on Nolan Richardson's knee. I might have been 5. Todd Day, Lee Mayberry, Oliver. I think there's a picture with me in Big O. So these next 4, again, I like them at 3-1. What are their net rankings? Texas is at 38. Vanderbilt's at 43. South Carolina currently at 89. I want Lenardi to follow that up about his comment about at South Carolina being I swear he said that was a quad 1 game, and I'm over here like, wait, what? It is? What do you mean? No. Mississippi State at 28 on the net ranking. All right, so if you're 10-1, let's pretend like for a second that's good enough. It might even be higher. I don't know. The respect that the SEC gets, it could be higher than 11 seed. But let's just entertain the idea. If you are the 11 seed, here's why you want to be the 11 seed. First off, did you watch the tournament last year? And did you see a certain 11 seed, how far that team went? If they finish as an 11, or if they go into the tournament as an 11 seed, this is what happened last year. 3 of the 4 11 seeds last year advanced. Duquesne advanced over BYU, so that's an 11. That's a 11 seed win there. NC State was the 11 seed. They beat Texas Tech. I think Texas Tech was favored. I mean, I picked Tech to win that game, but NC State finished their regular season strong. They did. They finished it really strong. Go back and look at their record and what they did and who they had to beat. But I remember looking at that and just thinking, no, it's got to be Tech, right? But NC State advanced. That's an 11 seed. That's 2 11 seeds that advanced in the first round. Oregon, that's your 3rd 11 seed that advanced. 3 of your 4 11 seeds last year advanced. They have had an edge over the 6 seeds, I think, going back to like 2014. They're advancing at a high rate versus that 6 seed. You want to be the 11 seed. 10 seeds do not have that kind of luck. I think like 1 10 seed advanced beyond the first round, I think, last year. And a couple were in the it was rough for 10 seeds last year, and it's a little bit different there. But round of 32, okay, you had 1 of the 3 advanced. Well, that was NC State. Just 1 of the 3, but you know what? Duquesne lost to Illinois, and Oregon lost to Creighton. Creighton was kind of on fire there as a 3 seed. NC State gets to the Sweet 16, and then they beat Marquette. I remember that game because I watched it. It was wild. I rewatched the someone had it up on YouTube, and I paused it, and I went back and I watched it. NC State over Marquette. I think it was YouTube. Or maybe it was on YouTube TV. By the way, if you've got YouTube TV, you know you can pause it and just leave it. I do that during Arkansas basketball games. I'll pause it. I'll go take a potty break, go, slap the wife on the butt, and I'll come back and I just skip through the – it might have been YouTube TV. But anyways, I watched it. I was shocked. I really thought Marquette would get that. Remember, Marquette was like favored to make the Final Four. They got knocked out. The 11 seed advanced. NC State, they get to the Elite Eight. They knock out Duke. They get all the way to the Final Four, only to lose to Purdue, 63-50. I'm not saying only. By the way, only like 5 or 6 11 seeds have ever made the Final Four. But since 2004, listen to this. Since 2014, I have it here somewhere. 11 seeds have been successful against 6s lately, going back to 2014. They have a 22-18 record. The 11 seed is the lowest seed to ever reach the Final Four. That's happened 6 times. I only counted 5, but one website said it was 6, and they didn't name the sixth team. But maybe that could be Arkansas this year. I don't know. I'm concerned about depth. Not consistently finishing tight games. What I talked about earlier. Those are my concerns. I don't know, man. Maybe they are. Maybe they've got it this year, and they're figuring it out. They are playing a better brand of ball since going all the way back to February 1st. They are. They're playing a much better brand of ball. I just don't know if it's going to be good enough. I just don't know if it's going to be good enough to get them far enough. You know what I mean? Rolling with Nolan, 40 minutes of hell. That's what I'm talking about, legend. That's what I'm talking about. Loved every minute of it, man. That was some of the most fun basketball I ever watched. Of course, I was young. Do I have a super chat I need to read? I need to do in the voice. Can Calipari? Now, should I do Cleveland or should I do Kermit? We got a great show for you. Can Calipari afford to rest any guys? I can't do it. I can't. Squidward. I tried. Can Calipari afford to rest any guys down the stretch of the SEC tourney? Bracketology says we're out for 2-2. That's the best I could do. It's hard to read. This is why I could never be a voice actor. I couldn't do it. Heartbroken Hog says Sweet 16 is what I said would happen. Or let's see, what I said would make me happy. Sorry. In the preseason, I'm sticking to it. Well, if you made the Sweet 16 this year, think about it again. How many 0 for 5 teams in conference play starting out 0 for 5? I'm not saying teams haven't lost. Obviously, teams have lost, 5 conference games. How many SEC or in conference games has a team started off 0 for 5 and then go on a Sweet 16 run? Hell, for that matter, even make the tournament. 3-1. Who you think we're going to lose to? Yeah, Vanderbilt's going to be tough. Vanderbilt would be the game. So that's, yeah. I didn't specifically. I'm still kind of weighing South Carolina and Vanderbilt. I think Arkansas is good enough. They're going to edge out South Carolina, but it's just I'm trying to take it a game at a time. But I do like them at 3-1. But if I had to pick the one loss, I think I probably would pick Vanderbilt. That's a tough place to play at. It just is. It's tough. That's your toughest game left on the year. It would have to be one of the best turnarounds in college basketball history for sure. Yeah, I agree. That's insane. I don't know about history. I better slow my roll there. I don't know about historically. I just don't think that happens very often. I'll say that. At least to start off 0-5 and then to go on a Sweet 16 run. Someone looked that up. When has that ever happened? Of course, Arkansas's got to make it happen, right? They got to do it first before we start trying to wish it into existence. Arkansas shooting better, finding the open shots better. Shots are starting to fall. I would love it. Right now, this is a team that's averaging about 76 points a game. That's not atrocious, but it's not great either. Where they're really struggling, and it's happening, they very rarely are they out-rebounding teams. They're only averaging about 35 boards a game. They're one of the worst offensive rebounding teams in the SEC. They're one of the worst rebounding teams in the SEC. Like, there are reasons for skepticism about Arkansas advancing, for sure. You know, are they a team that's going to drop 85, 86 points a night moving forward? I wouldn't say so. I mean, hell, they've only scored – how many times this year have they scored even just 80 points in SEC play? Like 4 times? They didn't score their first 80-point game in SEC play until Kentucky. That was the first one of the year. That was February 1st. You had played 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 SEC games before you even scored 80 points in your first game. In SEC play. Since then, they've come either close or they've scored 80 or more 3 times. No, 4, because they scored 81 against Bama. It's been a turnaround on offense for sure. Auburn was tough. I mean, Auburn's just Auburn and A&M are those kind of teams. They'll just completely take you out of your sets. They'll switch it up defensively. They can play man-to-man zone. They'll do whatever they got to do. They defend the rack well. They can get to the free throw line. They can get you into a little bit of foul trouble, which could change the complete flow of the game. I mean, that's just what those two teams do. A&M and Auburn are, I think, if I were to put it down right now, like a bracket, if you had me pick, it would be those two in Florida. Alabama, I don't think they're as good as they were a year ago, but who knows, man? Nate Oates just might know how to. Maybe he's figured it out in the month of March or in the NCAA tournament. The question's going to be, if you get into if you get into the tournament, you have got to win. I mean, obviously you want to win the first damn game of the tournament. You want to win them all. But for Cal's sake, you cannot let that hang over your head in the offseason. You cannot go one and done. You can't do it. You just can't. Because the narrative will be all offseason, this guy cannot coach in March anymore. He can't do it. He cannot advance in the NCAA tournament. It's over for him. That's what you're going to hear. I'm not saying it's true, but that's going to be the rhetoric, not just from Kentucky fans, not just from Tennessee fans who hate Cal because, whatever, or Florida fans or whatever, opposing SEC teams and their fans that hate him so much. But it's going to be the national media. It's going to be the SEC media. It's going to be local media telling you that this is just not a team that can do it. And guess what? A lot of people are probably going to buy it because he's not done it since 2019. It's done a number on his who he is as a coach the last several years. He has one bad regular season year to mix that in, and it's like, yeah, it's over for him. His 0-5 start this year, that was the narrative, was it not? Oh, you're not even going to make the tournament. Again, I was one of them. I was telling you guys, just enjoy the season. Enjoy the wins that you get. And they did turn it around. He proved people wrong. Maybe he could do it again in the NCAA tournament. But you cannot, for Cal anyways, cannot go one and done. I mean, it's going to be brutal. I'll tell you that. And then you wonder if that has an impact on his recruiting. I don't think that it will. I mean, at the end of the day, these players still love Cal. I mean, obviously, guys in Kentucky were very well aware of what's going on in the month of March in the NCAA tournament, and look who he brought with him. So I don't think it'll have a huge impact on recruiting, but it might. I mean, it's possible. Well, I want to play for a team that, maybe there's NIL bonuses for advancing in the tournament, and I don't think you're the guy to do that anymore. Again, he's going to get – if he really wants a player, he's probably going to get him, right? I mean, it's Calipari. And Arkansas, by the way, Musselman did a pretty good job without John Tyson's money, didn't he? He did pretty damn good. He brought in some McDonald's All-Americans. He had some really damn good classes. Of course, he was also, he was winning in the postseason, I guess. But Cal got more left in the tank, says Angel. I think he does. And I think this year has proved that. The losses this year and the fact that his team, that locker room, bought into what he was saying And we know that to be true because of what's happened since February 1st. And you can even argue before February 1st. We started to see something. They lost to Oklahoma. I mean, but you saw a little bit of it against Georgia. Like, all right, maybe they can. Not that Georgia's anything great. That was a pretty close game. Georgia led, if you guys remember, like 80% of that game. Arkansas got it ugly in the final, whatever it was, six or so minutes. They got it ugly and they pulled it out. I kind of saw it. Like, okay, maybe they figured it out. And then, Oklahoma happens. It kind of puts a damper on things. I think that's when we were saying, like, look, it's over. You've got one conference win. Your record's awful. And then February 1st happens, and it's just been like it's been a complete change. They are a better team since, I would say, Georgia. They found something in the later minutes of that game. They found something. Unfortunately, it didn't carry over to the Oklahoma game. I'm telling you, I think Arkansas is just cursed against the Sooners, against any damn school in basketball out of that damn state. I think they're just cursed. But didn't exactly light it up well against Oklahoma State, did they? But February 1st, something clicked with this team. You lose a star freshman, and they've been different ever since. Well, I mean, obviously, Boogie Flan was he was hurt before February 1st, but you know what I mean. Arkansas found something on February 1st. They got that win, and the confidence started to build, and guys, again, started to slowly figure out their roles. I just wish they were more consistent. That is the only thing that it's hanging over my head with this team. They're not consistent at, like, any damn thing. They're not consistent at the free throw line. They're not consistent with their outside shooting. Well, I mean, they're mostly bad, but you know what I mean. You'll have a night where you've got guys shooting ridiculous. They shoot 38, 39% outside. Then the next game they'll go 2 for whatever, 15 or 2 for 19. Like, they're just not consistent at anything. They're consistently bad at rebounding. They're consistently bad at offensive rebounding, but not closing out games has just been something I want to see more of. I'm fine, by the way, if you go 3-1 and all 4 of those games are single-digit wins and a loss. I'm fine with that. That shows you, oh, all right, okay, maybe they have figured it out. Maybe they can win these close games. But they need to have that NC State just dramatic turnaround like the NC State did. And that's what I want. And maybe that started with Missouri, like another, you know what I mean, another turnaround where they're playing an elevated level of ball. Because that's what NC State did a year ago. Lay down the boogie. Let's see. Lay down the boogie, and the Hogs play that funky. Oh, yeah, nice. It's impressive, Tercer. Very good. What's up, Joe? How you doing, man? Joe Cool's in the chat. What up, bro? Who tie? What do you mean, Angel? What do you mean? Oh, on Nate Ament. Ha! We'll have to wait and see. That class is absurd, you guys. I'm just gonna tell you, he's gonna get whoever he wants. Mellow 501 says we lost a star freshman and we've been better ever since. Doesn't normally happen that way, does it? Does not normally happen that way. Here's the brackets, if it'll pull up. Well, that's not what I was looking at. Here we go. That's BroThrow. We'll get to that in a second. Here's the brackets. We're going to talk about those really quick. Lenardi, as you know. Lenardi, it's having a hard time there. I had to refresh the screen. That's baseball. Where's it at? Here we go. He's got Arkansas last 4 in, and this was, of course, back on the 21st. He likes Arkansas. I think if you listen to him talk He likes Arkansas to get in. He's got them as the 11, and I love this spot. This is a good, sweet spot because of their success versus the 6 seeds. Hopefully that keeps going, right? 12 SEC teams in, 10 Big 10, 8 Big 12. Are y'all seeing that? We were supposed to do the brackets a little bit ago, but we're a little late getting to them. That's all right. Hope you guys can see the whole screen. That's what it looks like right now. Boy, and I have issues with some of these. I'm going to tell you right now, where'd they go? He's got Ole Miss at a 6, and I just struggle with this. To me, I'm looking at them, and I'm seeing like an 8 seed or a 9. I don't like them at the 6. I don't like them at the 6. I really don't. But you know what? The history of the 6, they'll get knocked out quick maybe. Louisville's at a 6. That's probably pretty appropriate. How about that? Arkansas versus Louisville. If that were the case, right? And then here is Palm. This is Jerry Palm's. Palm also has Arkansas last 4 in at the 11 with Xavier, Indiana, and Wake Forest. And he also has Auburn, Alabama, Florida as the 3-1 seeds. Duke is the other. So there you go. These two guys definitely agree with one another to some degree there, at least with Arkansas. Florida tomorrow taking on Georgia. 7.5-point favorites for the Florida Gators. Go check it out. Peer-to-peer sports betting. BroThrow. Use promo code Tusk, all caps, TUSK, baby. Go lay down a bet. BroThrow, an official sponsor of Tusk Talk with Ty. And these are guys based out of Fayetteville, Arkansas. You guys know how I feel about supporting local businesses, local companies. That's exactly what they are. So go check out BroThrow. Again, promo code Tusk. All caps. All right. Florida's dangerous. I think so, too. I think Florida's very dangerous. I really like Florida. I mean, again, matchups matter, but we'll have to wait and see. Let's put it into the poll. Where are we at on the poll here? Hogs will finish the final 4 games. And by the way, if you're watching this after the fact, you didn't make it live, but you're watching the stream here or the show, but you're not here live, go ahead and tell me what you think down in the comment section. Hogs will finish the final 4 games at what? Right now, in a pretty commanding lead, 3-1. I think I made a pretty good case for you guys. I think you guys listened, you observed, and you agree with your boy here that Arkansas is going to finish most likely 3-1. 54%. 4-0, 34% of you. That's in second place. Then 2-2. Little surprised 2-2 didn't get a boost here. But 12% and then 1-3. Nobody thinks Arkansas is going to finish 1-3. Nobody. Let's end that poll right there. And by the way, if you're curious what the whole thing was with the voice, someone in Discord told me I had to read all the super chats using a different voice because I like to upload little voice messages in Discord. I'm telling you, man, my Cleveland Brown, it's pretty good. It's pretty good. Mr. DC Kyle says, with how conference play started, if we make the big dance, that would be awesome. Yep. Yeah, Tremont Mark, can we get another donut? Yeah. Arkansas's got to – listen, Texas is going to give Arkansas some issues. I think Texas is probably pretty pissed. They were South Carolina's first victim, and now they got to go to Bud Walton. I think Arkansas wins this game, but I mean, my God, Trey Johnson scored 29. Nobody else did a damn thing for Texas outside of Trey Johnson, and I guess you shouldn't be surprised. This man was 11 of 21. He will take shots. He was 3 of 7 outside. He was 4 for 4 at the free throw line. Just 3 turnovers, 1 assist, 3 boards. They had 35 total rebounds. South Carolina tied them. What the hell happened here? South Carolina just 34 of 45 free throw attempts. South Carolina got to the line that much, and they hit 76% of them. Hey, what did you just do against Missouri? Do it again. Get them in foul trouble. I think Texas had at least, one guy foul out? I think Arthur Kaluma. Yeah, Kaluma fouled out. I think he got into foul trouble pretty quick. They had 12 turnovers, Texas did. Just 11 assists, 4 steals, 7 blocks. South Carolina didn't turn the ball over a lot, just 8. 12 assists. They were +7 in the assist-to-turnover ratio. Arkansas can get to the free throw line, and they've done a good job of that. Do it against Texas. But you do not let Kaluma get going. I mean, he can impact the game. I'm not saying he's anything like a Trey Johnson, but don't let Trey Johnson go. Like, Trey Johnson's the guy you can't let this dude go off. But 21 attempts, man. Texas had 27 free throw shots. I mean, my God, but 29 fouls on Texas. Oh, my God. Oh, man, that's crazy. Hog Blitz. Boy, they've been looking for you in Discord, man. Hey, Ty, the Mizzou game had Nolan and Nutt and many others. Pittman could not have been there because we won. You're leaning into it now, aren't you? You're just leaning into it. You won't debate John, even in a closed setting. How about this? Just come debate me. If you're worried John's going to get a little mouthy, he's going to drop F-bombs and get all rude, you know how I am. I won't be that way. Come into Discord chat and let's do it. Let's go. Let's have a debate. Dallas Lee says Arkansas will win out. Ty, are you excited about spring practice starting up? I check my email like every day, man. I am thirsty for some Razorback football. Absolutely. All right. I'm going to go eat din din. I do appreciate everyone for being here tonight. Thank you so much. Make sure you like. Sharing is caring, so hit the share, the little button there. Subscribe if you haven't already. Shout out to Arkansas Sports Network over on Facebook. Make sure you go follow them. Direct Service Overhead, the Garage Door Company, same-day services, quality parts, affordable outcomes, and, of course, BroThrow, peer-to-peer sports betting. All those guys. Thank them. I appreciate all of them so much. Patreon supporters. Hang on. We've got content coming, baby. We've got some recruiting. Offers are going out. Dates are being set. June looks like it's going to be heavy, as it always is, right? We're going to talk about it. I'm starting to get some information on some people, slowly but surely. So Patreon videos coming in pretty soon. Hopefully sooner than later. But yeah, all right, man. That's going to do it. I appreciate all of you again. Join Patreon if you haven't already. We did have our cards. I don't know what the hell I did with them. We got our cards. If you want to join Patreon, these are it. Right here. Here they are. Here you go. Jordan Walsh. That's for the $8 people. That's his McDonald's All-American. That's just for the $8 folks. That's not even a legendary status card. How about this? You baseball nerds out there. James McCann, autographed. I've got several of these. It's his autograph because he always signs it with that Bible verse there. I think that's pretty cool. That's awesome. It gets better. Mason Jones autograph, baby. This is legendary status. And then, again, for you baseball nerds, how about this? That's right. None other than Kevin Kopp's autograph. Look at that. Oh, baby. So sexy. The card. All right? Slow down. So there you go, man. There's our 4 cards. And, of course, we're giving away the packs. Hell, you don't even have to be a Patreon member. You just got to be in Discord. We're giving these away. This is the former Arkansas player card sets right there. We're giving those away. You don't even have to be a Patreon member for those. One of these will have an autographed card in them. Although we're going to have to start, we may from here on out make that a Patreon only thing, but we weren't, but that may change. I don't know. But join Discord. Come be a part of it. Come have fun. New cycle starting soon. If you want to get in on the fun, you gotta get there before the cycle, before we start it up. All right, y'all are cracking me up. Again, I appreciate everybody, and I will see you for the post game after Texas. It'll be a late one, but you know me, I'll be here. It's gonna be late. It's gonna suck, but I'll be here. All right, I'll see you guys then. Enjoy your Monday and Tuesday. Bye.